Hello guys, and today I'm going to cook something based on a recipe, not exactly the same, but based on a recipe from a book called The Essential Pasta Cookbook, okay? Now pasta is generally an Italian food, okay? And so this is generally probably an Italian style dish, okay? Now, the actual dish that I'm going to be cooking is the official title, which I'm going to do slightly differently, is orecchiette, I can't pronounce it, with tuna, lemon and caper sauce. Now I don't have any capers, so I'm not going to be using any, okay? Also, I don't have any orecchiette either, so instead I'm going to be using some shell pasta instead, okay? I'll tell you the name later, okay? And I accidentally bought some mushrooms, which I didn't need, because I thought it needed mushrooms. So I thought it needed mushrooms, but it didn't. So I got something I didn't want, okay? Unfortunately, it'd be a waste to throw them away. So I'm going to add some mushrooms to this dish, even though it doesn't need it. But there are other creamy pasta dishes which do use mushrooms, okay? And so I don't think it'll be that bad, okay? Hopefully. Anyway, first I'm going to do the preparation, and then I'm going to start cooking it, okay? So, okay, carry on watching. Right guys, now I'm going to, I've got more onions than I needed, so I'm going to put a lot of onion in because I bought them from a shop where you had to buy 4. Normally I've bought them individually, but because of the current problems I've been buying from local shops because it's less hassle, and I'm going to use 2 onions, okay? So I may be using more than necessary things, but it doesn't matter, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop a lot of the onion up. I meant to dice this. So I can probably do it better without a camera, but I'll be chopping a lot of this off unnecessarily, just so that I can do this quickly under camera conditions, okay? I'm just going to throw that away. I'm just going to use that as a bin for now. I should probably have a bit less of a layer than that, but I'm just going to throw it away. It's a bit of a waste, but never mind. I'll wash the plate later, don't worry about it. And now I'll do the other one. This is the amount you should pare off, so you should only tear off the dark brown area, ideally, okay? Now, I'm just going to move these off the plate. More about that later. Okay, I think that's it. Now I'm going to chop the onion up. This is where people usually start crying. I think you chop it into little pieces, yeah. Yep, finely chopped. I'm not going to chop it too finely because I just couldn't be bothered and it would take forever on camera. But, you know, that's usually good enough for me, that sort of amount. How they chop it really, really finely, I'll never know. I know it's really boring watching people just chop up onions, but there you go. Now with the other onion. As I said, normally you wouldn't put this much onion in. I have this suspicion I'm going to have to use a bigger frying pan for what I wanted, but never mind. As I said, you should cut it much finer than this, but I really can't be bothered, to be very honest with you. Okay. It's only me going to be eating it anyway. I'm not trying to win an award, so I'm not on MasterChef or something, so you know, okay, I'll do this as well. I've probably got far too much onion, to be honest, and easily far too much onion, truthfully. But otherwise it might mean throwing the onions out. I don't want to waste food. Normally I would have got just one onion, but the shops locally only sell, I could find, only sell them in packs of 3 or 4, whether you like it or not. Unfortunately, it's a problem. You know, I don't know why they have this policy, but there you go. It's what you have to put up with at the moment. And I also didn't want to go all the way around the supermarket just to buy one onion. I couldn't be bothered, frankly. Right? And I don't know how many onions I'm going to use, so that's what I'm trying to use too. Okay, so that's 2 onions. Now, I'm going to, I'm not sure if this is the right word here. I'm going to peel the mushrooms. Now, I'm not sure if that's the right word. I'm going to move this out of the way a minute. And move that here. Now I'm going to peel the outside off the mushrooms. I'll chop these up as well later. This is not part of the official recipes. This is something I'm adding myself, okay? As I said, I have added mushrooms to creamy mushroom recipes before, okay? I'll chop the end off. Okay, I think that'll do. Put that over there. Okay, another one. Again, I wanted to get fewer mushrooms, and normally I would have bought fewer mushrooms, but you have to buy them in a pack in local shops here. They used to do them where you could pick them, but because of shortages, you have to buy them in a pack whether you want it or not. Unfortunately, just the way it's gone here at the moment. It's hard to get loose things. And so I'm just using this as a bin, so don't worry. This was originally, I think, a salad bowl. When they often have these expired foods which I eat, which you know, and sometimes they put salads in them, so you can buy these ready-made salads where you just take a top off and start eating it, you know, and lid off and start eating it, you know. And they often bought them, and sometimes they'd been very cheap because they're about to expire that day, and I bought some just to eat on the way home or something. Sometimes, because often I used to be quite hungry sometimes after I'd walked all the way around to the supermarket, so I have to walk everywhere, or use buses, you know, and generally I walk everywhere, except when I have to go into town. Okay. This may be the wrong way of doing it, but this is how I do it. Okay, I'm sure some proper chefs will probably cringe at what I'm doing, but never mind. I also try and do this fairly quickly for you guys, as I know it's boring watching people do real cooking, you know, especially as you could probably do it yourselves. Alright, man. Okay, that one's already split, so it's much harder when they're split to get to do what I'm doing, unfortunately, because then they start to look rather bad, but I have no choice, because the outsides are filthy. Okay. I'll probably do another couple, then I might leave the mushrooms for a while. I might think of another dish to put the mushrooms in, if they survive. If not, well, I'll just have mushrooms at night as a sort of, I don't know, snack. Alright, so I'll do a couple more, then I'll call it a day with the mushrooms. As I said, in a moment I'm going to... dice the mushrooms, so... Just a minute, wait. In a moment I'm going to dice the mushrooms, so... Right, I think I'll do one more, and that'll be it for that. okay. Right. I think that will do for now, otherwise you guys really will be bored to death if you're already still watching, I mean. Right, okay. I'm doing this because some people said they like watching my cooking videos, so there you go, okay. Now I'm just going to chop the mushroom up. Right. Oh, there's another couple more to do. Right, so that's mushrooms done, I think, yep. Oh, no, it's a bit here. Oh, mushroom, a couple I didn't do, so yes, there's some 3 I didn't do, so okay. Some more, and a bit there. So I'm sure this is very boring to watch. There you go. This is just for those of you who actually like watching this kind of thing. You can always jump along anyway if you get bored. Okay. Right, now I think that's all of it done. Right, now let's see. Okay, I'm going to take a break now, okay? So this is the part 1. Then there'll be more preparation in a moment, okay? So what I'm going to do is later I'm also going to be using some garlic in this, okay? But sometimes the garlic gets a bit stiff. Now I've already done some of this, but if the garlic gets very stiff, what I've done is I've used a fork and I just push it in and stir it around. And use a fork because the prongs actually will help to loosen. I don't know the right word for it, but it will help to turn some of the garlic back into a powder again. So if some of it's very stiff like that, I can just a minute and put the fork in and prod it, and then if I prod it enough, it will turn back more into a powder. Okay, it's a little trick I'm letting you know. Okay, right, but because I will be adding garlic later. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to mix the rest of it. Now normally you wouldn't mix them in the way I'm doing, okay? And I'm only doing this because I'm filming, okay? Because normally I would just open things up or just put them straight into the pan at the right time. I wouldn't do what I'm about to do, but this is because I know if things can go wrong while I'm filming, they will. And it's much easier for me to cope with things while putting them into a bowl. So first, I'm going to concentrate on the tuna flakes, okay? And I'm going to use a tin opener. Some people have wondered how you use a tin opener because some people struggle with them. Okay, if you've got a tin opener that looks something like that, then you put it on the side like that, with the two cogs in between there. Then you press closely together, so you have it like that. People who genuinely have struggled with it, like my mum, didn't understand a lot of them, ironically. She's a woman, but she had different ones in her day. And I'll just turn it round. Now you'll notice some juices are starting to drip out, so I'll just let some of that drip out into the bowl. I've always cooked it with the juices, so I'll now... It's a bit painful for me, so now I'll just lift the lid up very carefully because it's sharp. And just put all of that straight into the bowl. Not much left. Anything left I'll just eat myself. If any leftovers I usually just pick it out and eat straight away. I know you can't see it, but I are. So, and I can move the tin out of the way. Now I'm going to put in some parsley. You're meant to use a tablespoon. I'm just going to guess. Next, you need some lemon juice. Again, I'm just going to guess. And this is Jif Gem and Lou. Jif, and this is the most famous brand here with lemon juice, okay? And I've shown this in other videos. It's a plastic bottle that's meant to look like a lemon, but it's actually a plastic bottle. You lift the lid up and just squirt it out. Next, I'm going to put in some pepper. So I've got some cayenne pepper. So here it says cayenne pepper. Wait a minute. So I'll just put some in. You meant to put in specific amounts. I'm too lazy to do it, so well, it just says seasons, doesn't tell you anyway. So okay, that's that. And there's some black pepper. I've got some black pepper here, and I'm just got some black pepper going in. Finally, there's the cream. Now, because this is me, this is 2 days out of date cream. Normally, I would not even dare have things like this out of date. Cream and eggs are one of the few things I'm worried about having out of date because you could be ill. But because I'm actually going to cook it, well, just eating it cold, I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to pour this in. As I said, normally you'd pour it straight into the frying pan. You wouldn't normally do what I'm doing, but I'm doing this because if anything can go wrong, it will. And it's easy for me to do it with here. And then just pour the whole lot into the pan once I've sorted it all out. So now I'm just going to mix it all with a fork. I don't normally do this, to be honest, but and this looks very similar to when I did the tuna mayonnaise, to be honest. And that will later go in the frying pan, okay? Okay, right, so I'm going to check. Okay, so now I'm actually going to start doing the cooking. I'm sorry it's taken so long, guys, but this is how it is, okay? I'll just do a bit more stirring. As I said, we'll get ready for it now. Okay, I'm now going to move over to the cooker area now, to the kitchen. Right, now I'm going to switch the cooker on. I'm going to switch on both hot plates. So I'll just show you, put on both hot, that's the 2 front hot plates, okay? And I've got here a saucepan and a frying pan, okay? I will be swapping these over in time, okay? And while it's heating up, I would ideally do it on these two, but I think this one doesn't work. I know the front two work, so I'm sticking with what I know works, okay? Let's do that. Put some butter in, they recommend butter. Often use margarine, but there you go, so I'm going to cut some butter out and just put that into the frying pan. Now it should melt in the frying pan, as I've already heated the frying pan, so I'm going to, while it's doing that, I'm going to get some of the garlic and sprinkle some of the garlic in. Oh, whoops, there's more garlic than I wanted, but never mind, it'll do. Instead, if anything can go wrong, it will. But no, that might be okay because I'm doing so much, so. Okay. Now while it's doing that, I'm going to stir it. So the butter and the margarine and the garlic are mixed together. I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip in, just going to turn this down a minute. I'm going to tip in the mushrooms and onions. I'll put the rest in properly in a moment. I'm going to stir it. Turn the heat down. I'll do that for a few minutes. Meanwhile, the water's boiled, so I'm going to turn this down a minute. And I'm going to concentrate on the pasta now. So I'm going to move this out of the way a moment and move it to the back. Okay, now I'm going to put the pasta in. This is called Con Chigli. Napolina is a famous pasta brand over here. I would have got cheaper ones, but as you know, it's very hard to get pasta at all nowadays. I'm just going to have their like sticky tape system. I'm trying to work out. Oh yes, that's it. So you lift up this thing here, and then it allows you to reseal it. And it goes like this. Now I'm going to pour some, well, pour's not the right word. Tip some of them. Tip's not pour. You need to pour liquid. Some of them gone on the floor, but I had no choice because I'm trying to film it. It's horrible when you're filming. So there you go. That's that. Now, put the heat back on. Now I'm going to pour some boiling water in. Now I'm going to swap them over because watching water boil is a bit boring. I'm going to turn the heat back up on them because I had to turn the heat down because of problems I had. Also going to put a lid on. Oh, it's not perfectly clean, but will do. That's the lid. And I'm going to stir this again. Oh, I didn't do as much of some of the onion as I wanted to. I didn't realise. Okay, but it'll do. I'm too late to try and cut it now. That's why I shouldn't try and cut it. It will go flying everywhere if you try and press down. I'm trying to put it at the event with a spatula. Okay. Now that will probably be done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other mixture in. So now I'm going to pour this tuna mixture in, which I did earlier. And then while the pasta's boiling, I'll be stirring this. Turn it down. I'm not using the correct cooking time, so I'm going to do this on a low heat. That should be about 10 minutes. Now what I do is I usually make about 4 days worth and then I reheat it. So I'll have this meal now every day for about 4 days. And I'm doing this on a much lower heat because it's meant to take about 10 minutes. Also, I do not intend to fully cook this. I'm intend to do it for about 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm going to pour most of it into a container. So I can have the rest of it another day, okay? And if I cook it too much, it tends to go very dry when you reheat it. So I think that will do for warming it up, okay? Just so the cream doesn't go off, okay? The next day. So I try to boil it just so that the cream doesn't go off, okay? Now I'm going to put most of this into a container. I'll turn this down a lot and put most of it into a container. You won't see me do that, it's too boring. Going back to my pasta. Turn the heat back on here. Down just while I was doing some things. And as I said, I'm going to do this very slowly. You're supposed to do it for 5 minutes, I'm going to do it for 10. But when I reheat it, I would normally do it for much less. What I'm also going to do is heat the plate. Now, I found a cheating way of heating the plate. We do have a proper plate warmer as well, which I usually use, but for once I'm feeling lazy. So I think it's at the stage now where I might be able to just warm the plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wash the plate briefly because I did use it for other things earlier. And I'll be back. Just wait a moment. Right, now, a way I found of actually warming a plate up, if you don't have a plate, which we do, but I'm just too lazy to use it at the moment, is to put a plate directly onto a pan of boiling water. But be careful, because if you leave it on for too long, it might actually break the plate. But for this amount of time, it'll be okay. So I've got the plate on top. At the moment, that plate's very cold because it's had cold water and other things on it. And but normally you would put a proper lid on, okay? I've put the lid on an unused hob on the cooker because it's very hot and it will cool it down. And then I'll put that away. While it's doing that, I'm going to go back to this. I mean, to be honest, this is all there is really to it now. It's just a matter of stirring it, warming it, and then later putting them together and then sprinkling it with some more parsley, okay? Yes, and the plate's now starting to get quite warm. So that's a little trick for you guys who want to know how to warm a plate, okay? And we do have a proper plate warmer as well. Now you're meant to cook pasta until it's, in their words, al dente, which means with bite. And I'm just going to carry on doing this. It's too boring to show you me continually stirring it, so I'll stir it a bit more, wait for a few more minutes, and then I'll start to put it out and get it ready, okay? Okay, it's ready now. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to put the pasta into there. Now what you're supposed to do is you're meant to do it the way around. You're meant to put the mixture into, you're going to drain the pasta, then put the mixture from the pasta, into the pasta. But I don't want to have to wash out two things. So instead, I'm going to scoop out and back now. I'm going to scoop out this is a special spoon with holes in. So I'm going to do that. There isn't much left now. Because I don't see the difference between the sauce from the frying pan for this, to be very honest with you. And now, I'm going to... The camera looks dreadful and I've no idea why. Anyway, I'm now going to stir it so that it's stirred together. And very soon that's now going to go on the plate. So just stir it for a while. And I'm going to switch the cooker off while I'm at it. So I'm going to turn the knobs down. So I don't think it needs any more warmth now. I'm going to switch the cooker off. Put it back in here. And while I'm going to try and prepare the plate. And then I'm going to just put all this straight onto a plate. Okay? So now, I'm going to move the camera back. I'm going to put all this onto the plate. And now I'm going to sprinkle some extra parsley on top. So I've got some parsley I've used some earlier in the mixture. I'm going to now put some extra one on top. Okay, and now I'm going to eat it. Okay, it is now 2 days later, and I've now taken the mixture from the fridge out of the fridge. Okay, so this is a tuna mixture, okay, which was left over from last time. Now, I'm going to be pouring this time in a saucepan. I'm using a different saucepan because this saucepan I don't mind getting quite so dirty. Okay, the other one, which I have, is a very nice one. And that saucepan's here. And I don't really like to get I do not like to put anything in that is going to like tarnish the colour or anything like that. So I just prefer to put things like potatoes, peas, or just pasta on its own in here, okay? And not mix anything with it. Okay, because it's stainless steel. It may be okay, don't. This one, I do not mind getting quite so much of the mixtures, okay? this time, hopefully the camera will record me eating it, okay? And so I'm going to scrape the rest out of the pan